Thank you to John Boltby, who finishes up his commentary for this afternoon as we move to the start of the PE, the Junior Men's 8. So we have the Great Marlow School and Melbourne Grammar School from Australia. And a fast start there from both crews. What a race this is going to be. The Great Marlow School in the Bark Station, Melbourne Grammar School from Australia in the Buck Station, and I'm joined now by Peter O'Hanlon in the commentary box.
Hi there, Sarah. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing a lot better now. Of course, you can probably tell by my accent that my favourite crew on this track right now would have to be the crew in the Buck Station from Melbourne Grammar School.
And aren't they looking good here? They've already built out to a full-length lead, pretty much just passing the end of the island, which is a really impressive start. I mean, we know that they've got a great history, the Melbourne Grammar School, in their racing, having done so well, certainly in recent history. But Great Marlow School still looking like they've had a good start here, but just really struggling to keep up with the calibre in this Melbourne Grammar School 8 here, who are absolutely displaying their dominance. Great Marlow School, though, they're not out of this race just yet. I think they'll have a gear change to come. I mean, it's been an amazing resurgence in Great Marlow School rowing. They had a bit of a cash injection from national schools, which has allowed them to really lift their coaching, and that's allowed them to qualify for the Princess Elizabeth Challenge Cup this year. But it's just proving to be a bit too much for them, competing against Melbourne Grammar School, who are absolutely bossing this race here. Great Marlow School, obviously, as I was saying earlier, that great history with them there. So Steve Redgrave went through Great Marlow School, and his 5 Olympic gold medals, 9 World Championship golds, shows a great history of rowing at Great Marlow, but certainly slightly outgunned here by Melbourne Grammar School in this heat of the Princess Elizabeth Challenge Cup.
And we can see the Melbourne Grammar School there in the navy rowing suits. In the 5 seat, interestingly, Fergus Hamilton. His father is Richard Hamilton, who stroked the British 8 at the Atlanta Olympic Games. So no doubt there his son taking some of that rowing prowess. But this crew would have to be the undisputed #1 schoolboy program 8 in Australia at the moment. They came up to the New South Wales State Championships, which is one of the major regattas in the Australian domestic season, which they won. And they also won the Victorian Head of the River with Wesley College coming in second, and the highly fancied Scotch crew coming in third.
We're just looking at them here as they come up towards the enclosures. They're starting to wind it down slightly there. They've got such a dominant margin of lead here over the Great Marlow School. Not too much pressure for them, so they're almost easily going to win this heat for the Princess Elizabeth. They've dropped the rating down there now to nearly 28 strokes a minute. Great Marlow still doing their utmost to try and get back into contention, but it may, or it's certainly looking as though it's going to be a day 1 knockout for Great Marlow School here at Wednesday of the Henley Royal Regatta.
And Peter, I think that this Melbourne Grammar School crew is probably one of the best schoolboy crews that I've seen in Australia. Schoolboy rowing is hugely successful, and a huge number of participants back in Australia, and you're really seeing the cream of the crop here in this Melbourne Grammar School crew.
Yeah, I think we expect these guys to go really far through the competition, if not racing on Sunday. I know that the Princess Elizabeth Challenge Cup is one of the all-time favourite events here at Henley Royal Regatta. Tends to draw one of the largest followings on the bank, and we'll certainly see a lot of frenzied parents through the latter stages of the regatta, desperate to see their kids do well and progress through the course of the event. But recently won by St Paul's School last year. Westminster are the ones to watch as perhaps the favourites from local domestic turf to contend with any of the foreign crews who might progress far in the course of this competition. But the winner of this race will go on to face either St George's College or Monmouth School. We'll find out which one at 7:05 when we see that heat for the Princess Elizabeth come down the course. So as I say, winner of this race, which is highly likely to be Melbourne Grammar School, will go on to face either St George's College or Monmouth School.
And in the Melbourne Grammar School crew, in the bow seat, Hugo Blomley. In 2 seat, Dan Harrison, Jack Robertson, Chuck Perkins, Fergus Hamilton, Mitchell Hooper, S. Lovejoy Hall, Nick Foster and William Anders is the coxswain all of these rowers between 16 and 18 years of age, so perhaps a couple of them, Fergus Hamilton, who I mentioned before in the 5 seat, at only 16, I imagine he probably has another year or so in schoolboy rowing, as the Melbourne Grammar School crew really has done a fine job to take out this race in the Princess Elizabeth Challenge Cup. And driving down to the line now is the great Marlow School, who unfortunately just couldn't match it with the strength of the Australian crew.
They were a bigger crew as well, looking at the average weights in that Australian boat we're looking at here. They're averaged 13 stone, so about a stone a man heavier than the great Marlow School.